Yeah. So actually for this question, especially for this one, there is no need to look at N by P ratio also. If N by P ratio is very high, then the tendency to release the beta particles is also going to be very high. That is okay. But among the three isotopes of hydrogen, we have three isotopes of hydrogen: protium, deuterium and tritium. Tritium is the only one which is having the tendency to release the beta particles, or it is having the tendency to undergo disintegration, which means radioactivity. That's the only one which is having the radioactive tendency. Remaining all of them does not have the tendency of radioactivity. Next. Do you remember that we discussed this question anywhere else? TLI3, CSI3. Not remembered. Not remembered? No? Okay, then I'll tell you something else. For example, I have given, I'm not discussing that question, I'm telling you. Okay? TL plus 3 plus 3I minus. What is the formed compound? TL plus 3 plus 3I minus. What is the formed compound? First it forms TLI plus I2. Reason: fantastic reducing agent, fantastic oxidizing agent. Why it is fantastic oxidizing agent? Because of inert pair effect. It is a reducing agent because of its less positive SRP. So 2 I minus ions will be give 2 electrons to TL plus 3. It converted to TL plus. TL plus plus I minus gives rise to TLI plus I2. Then what will happen? This TLI, this is having the vacant orbitals, vacant d orbitals. This I minus will give electron to this one. Now it is forming TLI3. So TLI3 doesn't mean TL plus 3 plus 3I minus. TLI3, which means TL plus plus I3 minus. Same situation you will be having with the CSI3 also. Cesium can exhibit only plus 1 oxidation state. It never exhibits any other oxidation state. So here also CS plus plus I3 minus. CS plus plus I3 minus. Same situation, Pb plus 4 plus 4I minus. What is the formed compound? PbI2 plus I2. PbI2 plus I2. If you remember, we have given one point at the time of the d block elements. The point is, remember this very important point, that is, all higher oxidation states gets stabilized by fluorides and oxides. Lower oxidation states gets stabilized by bromides and iodides. Chlorides, bromides, iodides. Higher oxidation states gets stabilized by fluorides and oxides. Among fluoride and oxide, who is more stable with higher oxidation state? Fluoride and oxide. Who can stabilize the higher oxidation state? Fluoride, oxides, why oxides? If fluoride, why fluoride? Ma? Oxide. Because of, very good, right. The ability to form the multiple bond. For that example also we have given, that is Mn2O7 exists, but MnF7 does not exist. IF7 exists, I agreed. I agree with IF7. But how stable this is? How stable it is? Mn2O7 highly stable. Is it correct or not? So, fluoride and oxide has the greater tendency to stabilize the higher oxidation states. Chloride, bromide, iodide has the tendency to stabilize the lower oxidation states. Higher oxidation state among fluoride and oxide, oxide has the greater tendency due to the ability to form the multiple bonds. due to the ability to form the multiple bond. MnO4 minus, how many p pi d pi bonds are there? MnO4 minus 3 p pi d pi bonds. Overall 4 oxygens are there, 1 minus charge is there. Therefore, how many double bonds? 3. Those 3 are p pi d pi bonds only, na? Right? MnO4 minus. Cr2O7 2 minus. Cr2O7 2 minus. How many? 4. 1 oxygen in between those 2 chromium. 2 oxygens for minus charge. Therefore, how many oxygens are left? 2 only. 4 only. Therefore, 4 p pi d pi bonds. CrO4 minus 2. That's it. CrO4 minus 2, 2. Cr2O7 2 minus 4. Right? SO2. 1. First excited state. SO2 is formed by first excited state. Therefore, 1 d orbital. SO3. 2 p pi d pi bonds. ClO4 minus 3. ClO4 minus 3. If at all it wants to form the oxide, it should undergo excited state. ClO4 minus, ClO3 minus, ClO minus. ClO minus has 1 p pi d pi. ClO minus has no. ClO2 minus, ClO3 minus, ClO4 minus. ClO2 minus has 1 p pi d pi. ClO3 minus has 2 p pi d pi. ClO4 minus has 3 p pi d pi. 3 p pi d pi. XeO3. XeO3. Right, 3. 3 are p pi d pi bonds only. XeO4. 4. Simple logic ra. Xenon already octet configuration field. If at all it wants to form the bond, it should undergo excitation, na? It is combining with 4 oxygens, which means it undergoes how many excited states? 4 excited state. Therefore, 4 d orbitals. 4 p pi d pi bonds. H2SO4, how many p pi d pi bonds? 2. H2SO3? 1. H3PO2, H3PO3, H3PO4? 1. Oxyacids of phosphorus, oxyacids of sulfur. Listen this. Oxyacids of phosphorus, oxyacids of sulfur. Whatever the pi bond is there, that pi bond is p pi d pi bond only. I explained this also. If you might have forgot all these things. SO3 when reacts with H2O gives rise to H2SO4. Right? SO3 double bond O, double bond O, double bond O. Among these two, this is p pi d pi. This is also p pi d pi. This is p pi. Now in this S double bond O, OH. This one can undergo hydrolysis. These two cannot undergo hydrolysis. These p pi d pi bonds are highly stable. Sir, why? Actually, traditionally d orbital pi bond is unstable. Now that is correct. But this is formed due to the back bonding. Sigma bond is stabilized by the back bonding. The pi bond, whatever formed, that is stabilized by back bonding. That's why it does not undergo hydrolysis. It does not undergo hydrolysis. This does not undergo hydrolysis. Who can able to undergo hydrolysis? That one only is able to form. What is this here? That one only is able to form the hydrolysis. Okay, remember this. P pi d pi bonds are always on the cards every time. Okay, next. PbO2, PbO. Among these two, who is the better oxidizing agent? Pb? Right. PbO2 reacts with H2O2. H2O plus? Right, H2O plus PbO plus O2. In that reaction, H2O2 acts as oxidizing agent or reducing agent? Right, correct. Not only there, if it reacts with any oxidizing agent, PbO2 is you just know, you only said, that's why I'm asking. BaO2, oxidizing agent or reducing agent? BaO, nothing. It's just a basic oxide. BaO2 barium peroxide, BaO barium oxide. Okay? Then we have to answer this question now. First of all, we'll see this. In TlI3 isomorphous, isomorphous means having the same kind of structure. Na2SO4, K2SO4 isomorphous. MgSO4, CaSO4 isomorphous. CaCl2, MgCl2 isomorphous. That is what the meaning. Having the same kind of structure. That is the meaning. Isomorphous. Metal present +1 oxidation state. Just now we have seen. Thallium metal has 14 F electrons in the electronic configuration. That is also correct. No doubt. Thallium, why thallium exhibits the inert pair effect? Because of the 14 4f electrons only, we already mentioned. Because of the 14 4f electrons, they have diffused nuclear charge. Therefore, nucleus is unable to attract those 14 F electrons. Nucleus charge is falling on whom? S orbitals of thallium. That is why they are asking this. Look at this. 14 F electrons are there. After that only 6s to 6p1 thallium. These 14 F electrons will be having the 14 protons. Na? Those 14 protons were unable to attract the 14 F electrons. So these 14 F electron nuclear charge is falling now on 6s to 6p1. That is the reason here. So definitely one is correct. Thallium has, this is also correct, but it's not going to be an explanation. Yeah, sucrose we know, glucose as well as the fructose, lactose, galactose as well as glucose, right? Maltose 2 moles of glucose, maltose 2 moles of glucose. Yeah, N-phenyl methenamine, phenyl methenamine. They have given structures also, na? Phenyl methenamine, NN dimethyl aniline, N-methyl aniline, aniline. So now what about the basic character? What about the basic character? Whenever it is present in on aniline molecule as well as the pyridine also, if you remember we mentioned, in pyridine the nitrogen lone pair of electron has no duty, nothing to do with the aromatic character. If it is having something to do with the aromatic character, not only that, including that, pyridine, quinoline, both. Pyridine as well as quinoline. Both of them, they does not have anything to do with the aromatic character. They are ready to give their lone pair of electrons. They are ready to give the lone pair of electrons. How would I know, sir? Is there any evidence? Yes, there is an evidence. What is that evidence? It can act as a ligand. Pyridine is a ligand. It's a fantastic ligand. If it is not having the tendency to give electron, why it is acting as a ligand? Do you understand that? So, pyridine, the lone pair of electron which is present, that is a free electron. There is nothing to do with. So, that is going to be basic character. But whereas in the case of pyrrole you know, na? Without these electrons here aromaticity is not completed. Therefore, it never comes out. It never comes out. Definitely it never comes out. So when such kind of situations are there, then only basic character will be changed. Now you look at here, that is actually alkyl substituted amines are better bases when compared with aromatic substituted bases. Because here phenyl group can act as an electron withdrawing group. So this is very bad actually. In fact, this is very bad. Now this is good. This is also little good when compared with this because of plus I effect. Plus I effect. More plus I effect is there. So when compared with this, this is better. But here we get one doubt. Sir, steric hindrance is there now. Steric hindrance is dominated by plus I group, plus I effect. That's the situation. Why, sir? Because here more electron withdrawing group is there. That's why when compared with this, this is better. But when compared with these two, this is much better. Because here NH2 is not attached to the aromatic ring. It is attached to alkyl group. So this is better base, then after this, then after this, then after this. What is the answer? Yeah. Basic character they already asked. If you remember, out of these 6 question papers, 3 question papers they asked basic character. So first you have to remember SD character they asked 1 question. Carboxylic acid, phenols or something they asked. So basic character they are not touching too many things. They are giving simple things. More the number of nitrogens, more will be the basic character. First point. I always remember like that. More the number of nitrogens, more is the basic character. Next, lone pair of electron or amine which is attached to alkyl group, more is the basic character. Amine or nitrogen, if it is present in, if it is not involved with the 4n plus 2 pi electrons, more basic character. Nitrogen, lone pair of electron, if it is involved with the aromatic character 4n plus 2, that means Huckel's rule, therefore then it will be having the less basic character. That's it. These are the rules. Okay, right? Next. Yeah. Very lucky this question. Correct order of electron gain enthalpy. Who has more electron gain enthalpy? Sulfur, selenium, tellurium, last oxygen. When comes to 6th group elements, sorry, this is 6th. 7th group elements, chlorine, then after fluorine, bromine, iodine. Remember once again, periodic classification, they are giving questions only based on 2 concepts. One is electron gain enthalpy, second one is ionization enthalpy. Ionization enthalpy, they are giving only 2nd period, 3rd period. Is it correct? 3 questions they asked based on ionization enthalpy. Electron gain enthalpy, 2 questions asked out of 6 question papers. I remembered. That's what. Isn't it? So electron gain enthalpy, ionization enthalpy. Remember, these are simple things. Okay? Next. I did not like this question paper. Answers are there. This is sp2a, spr, sp2, sp3. Right? Because of this is what is this? What is this? Double bond C. Double bond C double bond is called, what is the name of the carbon? Which one? Cumulative diene. What was that? Technical language, that's it. Cumulative diene. Diene, there will be cumulative diene, 1, 3 dienes. So likewise, this is cumulative diene, which contains both sides. It is almost equivalent to alkyne. That's why its hybridization is equal to sp. Cumulative diene is almost, it is equivalent to alkyne. That's why its hybridization is equal to sp. Yeah, remember that. Maybe they want to test that only. They want to test this carbon only, but because of that reason they asked. This paper is very easy, very easy actually. This is given last year also. This one also. Those who has done the question papers, previous year question papers, they would have been definitely benefited with this question. Selivanov's test and xanthoprotic test. Can I tell you something? These both are not there in the NCERT textbook. They claimed, actually some of the institution they claimed, but NTA has not given the answer. NTA has not given any claim. Selivanov's test as well as xanthoprotic test. Selivanov test can be used to distinguish between aldose as well as the ketose. Carbohydrates only, to distinguish between aldose as well as ketose. It will give red color. It will give red color. Xanthoprotic test, I don't know much about it, but it will be used for the proteins. It is used to test for the proteins, nothing but amino acids. The test will be given by the amino acids. Amino acids only the constant particles of proteins, no? You have an idea, right? When 2 amino acids are combined together to give a compound or a bond, what is that bond? Peptide bond. What is that functional group? That NH. What was that? Amide. Gives amide linkage, which is known as a peptide bond. Number of peptide bonds will give us protein. Number of peptide bonds will give us protein. Right. Yeah, this is also so easier. 2,4 DNP test. It gives which color? Do you remember? Brown PPT. Reddish brown PPT, to be precisely. Reddish brown PPT. It will be given by whom? Aldehydes as well as ketones. It can be given by carbonyl compounds, which can be given by carbonyl compounds. 2,4 DNP, which means 2,4 dinitrophenyl hydrogen. Dinitrophenyl hydrogen. Reaction with ammonia, reaction with hydroxylamine, reaction with hydrogen, reaction with 2,4 DNP. These are all the nothing but which kind of reactions these are all? Which type of reactions these are? Nucleophilic addition followed by elimination. Nucleophilic addition followed by elimination. These are very good nucleophiles. Carbonyl group is having very good electrophilic nature. Where is that electrophilic nature? Here. So why these are going to be NH2, bond NH2? It's a fantastic nucleophile. First they are going to attack like this, and then after they will be involved in the elimination reaction. So nucleophilic addition followed by elimination reactions, these are all. Remember. Can anyone talk about amines? One test, one amine test. Carbylamine reaction you can talk now. Latest CHCl3KOH, it gives carbylamine. Aldehyde we have seen. Ether test. Ether, do you remember reaction with HI? How ether can be prepared? Right, Williamson synthesis, right, SN2. Halogens, primary, secondary, tertiary, halides, primary, secondary, tertiary, not halides, no? Halogens, no? Halogens test. Preparations we could tell, properties or test we can talk like this. Lucas is for what? Alcohols. Lucas test 2, Victor Mays test 2. Those are all for what? Primary, secondary, tertiary alcohols, not for halogens. But halogens I can do one thing. That is, I can react with alcoholic AOH. I'll get an alkene. Who can give alkene very fast? Primary, secondary, tertiary. Tertiary. Because of the steric hindrance. How many types of elimination reactions are there? Okay, 3 or 2, that is okay. Because even E2 main, even CB is the another one. Even CB can take place in the presence of electron withdrawing groups. Okay? So even E2, can anyone talk about the stability or major product for the formation of the even E2? Which alkyl halide can undergo fast even reaction? Tertiary is greater than, secondary is greater than primary. E2? Why? In E2 mechanism, it is stabilized by or it is favored by the formation of transition state. By the formation of transition state. Tertiary is the halogen, lesser will be the transition state which is followed by the reaction. Even reaction will be favored by the formation of carbocation. So no doubt about it, tertiary is the one. It's okay, I am remembering all those and I am trying to make you remember all those, that's it. Ceric ammonium nitrate, wow, very good yeah. Ceric ammonium nitrate, whenever you see, you will remember alcohol. It converted to aldehyde. Which converted to aldehyde. Primary alcohol converted to aldehyde. Chloroform along with KOH ra. If you add it to amine, it will be converted to isocyanide, carbylamine reaction. CHCl3 along with KOH, another one also, another way also you can use, Ramet-amine reaction. So are used for the identification function groups present in alcohol as well as, yeah, Ramet-amine reaction, phenol. It gives, what does it give? Yesterday we have seen this. What does it give? Salicylaldehyde. Salicylaldehyde. Ortho product or para product? Ortho product, na? Tell me what is the intermediate in Raymond-Taman reaction? Very good. Dichlorocarbon. CCl2. Dichlorocarbon. CCl2. Next. Which of the pair of oxides is acidic in nature? B2O3 acidic, CaO basic, B2O3 acidic, SiO2 acidic, N2O, right, BaO basic, highly basic, acidic. Okay, we already spoken about this one little high, because what are the acidic oxides, so basic oxides, so neutral oxides, in the beginning class only we were talked about it. Yeah, identify the chemical reaction in this one. Major product. Here alpha hydrogens are there, therefore it is going to be intramolecular aldol condensation. Intramolecular aldol condensation. So because both of them are symmetric in nature, no doubt about it, I am going to do one thing, that is minus here, or if you are not willing to do that, you can do here also, no problem. Since it is C double bond OH, bond will be polarized O minus, and this has to be the plus, bond will go to here. Now how many membered ring will be formed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 membered ring will be formed. If 7 membered ring is there, this is not the answer, this is not the answer, this might be the answer. We can check with other option also, then we can conclude, yeah, this should be the answer, 7 membered ring. And after that, cyclization will take place, followed by heating also given, therefore alkene can be formed. Alkene can be formed, which means like allyl substituted aldehyde can be formed. Yeah, they have given the same. Here, if you have a doubt, you can check once. Yeah, see this. That was aldol. This is Cannizzaro. Same chapter, 2 questions. Consecutive topics. Same chapter, consecutive topics. Aldol condensation, next reaction will be Cannizzaro only. Formaldehyde. Aldehyde. Having no alpha hydrogens. Electron withdrawing group is present, undergo oxidation. Electron releasing group is present, undergo reduction. Therefore this one will undergo OCH3 CH2OH. Here this one will undergo HCOO-Na. What they are asking? Okay. Followed by there is something. CH3CH2Br. CH3CH2Br. CH3CH2Br, and I have an alcohol with me. Therefore, now here SN2 mechanism will take place. Therefore, it is going to form CH2O, C2H5 and OCH3. Now look at this. Sodium hydride. Sodium hydride, which means reducing agent. Reducing agent H. Now it is going to form CH2OH, and after that what they are giving? Reaction with HI, again SN2. Therefore instead of this OH, I will come. So compound will be okay, but the plot point for the reaction is this one, first one, Cannizzaro. Cannizzaro reaction. Aldol condensation, next to Cannizzaro reaction. Very fortunate, very, very fortunate. If you know in the exam, usually we know, but in the exam that is little different thing. Calgon, what is the formula of the Calgon? Na P6 O. Right. NaPO3 taken 6 times, which is going to be Calgon. So, Calgon contains the second most abundant element by weight in the earth crust. First most abundant element is the oxygen. Second most abundant element is silicon. Not, that is only. It is a polymeric compound and water is and it is water soluble. No, it is not water soluble. It is not water soluble, but this is not polymeric compound. Not true, no? It's a polymeric compound, okay, but this is not water soluble, no? If it is water soluble, how it is replacing the Na plus by Ca plus 2? This will be polymeric, okay. Hexamer is formed here, that is okay. But this is not water soluble, no? It is known as Graham salt, that is correct. It does not remove Ca plus 2. Very good. No, it does not form precipitate. It removes Ca plus, that is correct. By precipitation is there, na? That is wrong. Good one. But I have a doubt with this. We'll see this. It's not water soluble. If it is water soluble, therefore water will be contaminated, na? I'm not sure with this. We'll check once. Yeah. Next one, first reaction, it is going to be Wurtz reaction. We know this is the, where is that? This is Fittig, alkyl, aryl halide. Wurtz Fittig also there. One is alkyl, another one is aryl. These two are aryl, Wurtz reaction. Salt is there. Salt to Sandmeyer. I remember like that. Salt to Sandmeyer. Because salt is this. Cu2Cn2, Cu2Cl2. So salt is there. This is Sandmeyer. This has to be the Gutterman. Gutterman reaction. ZnHCl, reducing agent. What is that reagent? ZnHgCl, they should have given. They might have missed that Hg. So Clemenson's. Therefore, it is going to form because this double bond was gone. If you remember, some 2 days back, we discussed one paper. In that paper, they have given isomerization, aromatization we discussed. Huh? Yes. Alkanes reaction we discussed. In that, there is no clarity regarding the products of alkanes we taught. There are two. One is MO2O3. Yeah, I got it. MO2O3. MO2O3 can cause isomerization. Cr2O3, Al2O3 can cause aromatization. Isn't it? So I have given there. Cr2O3, Al2O3 can give aromatization and is going to form the compound. This one. Here I asked another one more question also. How many isomers are exist? Ethyl benzene, orthoxylene, metaxylene, paraxylene. I asked, na? Do you remember? Same question we asked. Next, considering the above reaction, major product. That could be this. This is aromatization and this is reduction process. Yeah, look at this. ZnHg is given, but maybe print error they missed it. Here, they might have missed it. Yeah, you tell me this. Na2 0 ra. 3, 1, 2. How much time it will take? Just 10 seconds, including putting answer. Yeah, this one also we have been talking since some 3 days. SOCl2, PCl5, PCl3, when they react with alcohol or carboxylic acid, they convert it to their respective. Carboxylic acid will give acyl halides, whereas alcohols will give halides. Acyl halide reacts with PDBSO4, converted to aldehyde. What is that reaction? Huh? Rosenmann's reduction. Yeah, Rosenmann's reduction. So SOCl2, it does not react with phenol because aromatic alcohol it is unable to replace. but aliphatic it is able to replace. So here Cl will come and here also Cl will come. That should be the answer. FeCO3 siderite. Calamine ZnCO3. Malachite CuCO3, CuOH taken twice. Cryolite. Do you remember anything yesterday we talked about cryolite? Where we are adding cryolite? Hall-Herold's process in order to reduce the melting point of Al2O3 from 2000 to 904 or 905 along with fluorospar. What is the fluorospar? CaF2. Both are increased conductivity as well as reducing the melting point. Both. Yeah. Yeah. The nature of charge on resulting colloidal particles when treated with FeCl3 is added to excess of hot water. Very good question. Actually, what they will give FeCl3 when they reacted with water, they are going to form FeOH taken thrice. On FeOH taken thrice, for example, just imagine, for example, if I add base, I am not talking about this question. Okay, clear. If I add a base, therefore what will be formed? FeOH taken thrice precipitate, on this OH minus ions will be present. This is known as negative colloid. Now what is happening? FeCl3 I am adding water, I am not using any base. First it forms partial undergo hydrolysis, FeOH taken thrice will form. Some Fe plus 3 is also present. Whenever common ion is present, that common ion will go and accumulate on the precipitate. Positive colloid. Same we discussed already here. If you remember, AgNO3 reacts with Ki, excess. What type of colloid will form? Negative colloid, because AgI will be present, I minus ions are going to be deposited on this. Do you remember that mechanism we already spoken? For example, if this is not the excess, Rabbi, if that is not the excess, this is excess, what happened? Yeah, gone. AgNO3 plus Ki, now this is excess. What is the colloid? What is the type of colloid that is formed? AgI, Ag plus type of colloid will be formed. The charge, the potential which is developed in between these two is known as zeta potential, correct? Zeta potential. Where is the question? Okay. Sodium carbonate, titanium, chlorine, sodium hydroxide. Okay. Decon's process, chlorine. MnO2 plus HCl, 4 moles of HCl in the presence of catalyst platinum something, it will give you chlorine gas. Decon's process, correct. Sodium carbonate, yesterday also they have given Solvay's process. Titanium Van Arkel, maybe yesterday or day before yesterday we mentioned. Van Arkel process, 3 metals can be extracted. Zirconium, titanium, boron. Zirconium, titanium, boron. Both, all the 3 will be reacted with by reacting with iodine only. Zr plus 2i2 gives rise to Zri4. Upon heating gives Zr plus 2i2. Titanium, Ti plus 2i2 gives rise to TiI4. Upon heating gives Ti plus 2i2. Boron, B plus 2b plus 3i2 gives rise to 2bi3. Upon heating gives rise to B plus, again same, 2b plus 3i2. Okay. Sodium hydroxide, Kastner-Kellner process. Tell me another one more method for sodium hydroxide. What is the name of the method? I need the name of the method. Nelson cell. What was that? Nelson cell. Yeah, the NaNO3 is weighed out to make 50 ml of an aqueous solution containing 70 milligrams of Na plus per ml. And what we have to calculate? Okay, the NaNO3 weighed out to make 50 ml of an aqueous solution containing 70 milligrams of Na plus per ml. Okay. So how much that we have to calculate that one? This one we can calculate even not only this, we can calculate even by another method also. So how much sodium nitrate you needed to make 50 ml of an aqueous solution that containing 70 milligrams of Na plus per ml. So per 1 ml 70 milligrams, per 50 ml we need for 50 ml only, na? For 50 ml, how much? 70 into 50. 70 into 50, that is equal to 3500. 3500 milligrams. 3500 milligrams is equals to how many moles? 3500 is nothing but 3.5 grams. 3.5 grams divided by 23. Those many moles. Okay, if you take Na will give you NaNO3. If this is 1 mole, it should be 1 mole, Rabbi. If it is X moles, it has to be X mole. So those many number of moles we need to get. How many moles we will get here? 3.5 divided by 23. 3.5 divided by 23 into sodium nitrate weight. Sodium nitrate gram molecular weight. When you look at sodium nitrate, what you remember? Heating. NaNO2 will give along with oxygen. If you heat calcium nitrate, lithium nitrate to calcium, all secondary group nitrates upon heating gives their respective oxides and nitrogen dioxide. Right? Correct. First A group nitrates except lithium nitrate, remaining all nitrates upon heating gives their respective nitrites by liberating oxygen gas. At extreme temperature, if you heat by extreme temperature, they will give its respective oxide along with nitrogen gas, not nitrogen dioxide. N2 they will give. Don't forget all those things. Yeah, same thing, 3.5 divided by 23 into 85. They have done the same method. Of course, I did not recognize, but same one. This one we have done. Now, EMF of the following cell at 298 Kelvin in V volt. Okay, good. The value of X you have to calculate. EMF of the cell we have to calculate. That is okay. Now, Zn gives rise to, they have given this now, we can use this. QC is equals to concentration of Zn2 plus divided by concentration of Ag plus whole square. Zn2 plus is equal, Zn2 plus 0.1, no? 0.1 divided by 10 power minus 2 whole square, that is equal to 10 cube Rabbi. Now E naught cell, did they mention E naught cell? E naught cell is equal to 0.8 minus of minus 0.76, that is equal to 1.56. So 1.56 minus 0.059 divided by 2 log 10 cube. This is the one. This you know, I guess you can answer this type of question very easily. This is not at all a problem. If we do calculation, when 12.2 grams of benzoic acid is dissolved in 100 grams of water, the freezing point of solution. If you remember, out of the 6 papers, only 1 paper they asked relative lowering of vapor pressure. Remaining 5 papers they asked delta TF or delta TB. Delta TF, delta TB only. So delta here, when 12.2 grams of benzoic acid is dissolved in 100 grams of water, the freezing point of the solution was found to be 0.93. The number of benzoic acid molecules associated, which means delta TF is equals to I into KF into M rub I. Now delta TF is equal to 0.93 is equal to I value we don't know. This is how much? KF value is equal to 1.862 into molality is equals to, what is that molality? 12.2 divided by benzoic acid gram molecular weight. What's the gram molecular weight of benzoic acid? 122, huh? Correct. 122 into 1000 divided by 100 grams. How many times? 10 times. Cancel. I is equal to 0.5. Now benzoic acid I am considering C6H5 COOH 2 times gives rise to C6H5 COOH taken twice. 1 0 1 minus alpha alpha by 2. I is equals to 1 minus alpha by 2. I value 0.5 is equals to 1 minus alpha divided by 2. Alpha by 2 is equal to 0.5. Alpha is equal to 1. Alpha 1 na? Ma? Alpha is given na? Then what we have to calculate? Okay. Then we have to calculate whether it is dimer or a trimer or something else. Huh? So then it is. Then we have to calculate from here only, na? 2. Because in that aspect we have to take this one. Otherwise we can calculate here 122x if you take, and I value, if they have already given I value will come out as 0.5. Here we will consider it as 122x. X we will get 2. The average SF bond energy in kilojoules per mole, SF6. Okay, good. This type of question they have not asked so far. So SF6 na. So here SF6 gives rise to S plus 3F2. Delta HR of this reaction is equal to enthalpy of formation of products minus enthalpy of formation of reactants. Enthalpy of formation of sulfur and gas plus 3 into enthalpy of formation of F2 minus enthalpy of formation of SF6. This total value is equal to 6 into bond enthalpy of SF. What did you say? They have given all these values. We have to calculate this divided by 6. Right? Enthalpy of this reaction is nothing but 6 bond enthalpies of SF only, na? What they have given here? Yeah, same. 6 into bond enthalpy of SFO, the total value will get. Right. After a long time we have seen this type of question. A ball is weighing 10 grams, is moving with a velocity 90 meters per second. Uncertainty in its velocity is 5%. Then uncertainty in its position will be delta x into delta p is equals to or greater than or equal to h divided by 4 pi. Yeah, h divided by 4 pi. Now delta x into m into delta v is equal to h divided by 4 pi. Now we have to calculate uncertainty in its position. delta x is equals to h divided by 4 into pi m into delta v. V is given, V is 90 meter per second, delta V is equal to 90 into 5 divided by 100, that is equals to 4.5. Mass is 10 grams, which is given, H is given in terms of joules, therefore 6.625 into 10 power minus 34 divided by 4 into 3.14 into how many grams? 10 grams. 10 into 10 power minus 3. Delta V 4.5. 4.5. So the only thing here, the only hiccup will be here for me. What I feel every time student will do only the units. That's it. Otherwise nothing else. There is nothing. Delta x into delta m. Here as well as E is equal to hc divided by lambda. In these two problems, you will face only one thing, that is in a hurry you will substitute with the wrong units. That's the only one. You have to just underline those units. Okay, then after do the problem, you will minimize the errors. Definitely you will minimize the errors. Yeah, sorry. The number of octahedral voids per lattice site in a lattice. Per lattice site of what? That they did not mention, no? The number of octahedral voids per lattice, sorry, right, correct. For example, 4 is the rank, 4 octahedral voids are present, which means for 4 lattice points in a unit cell, 4 octahedral voids are present. Therefore, for every one lattice point, we have one octahedral void. What they are asking, 1:1 ra. So number of octahedral voids per lattice site is 1. Number of tetrahedral voids per lattice site is 2. That is 2. Just now we were discussed yesterday only here. Next. A mildly alkaline medium thiosulfate ion is oxidized by MnO4 minus 2A. This is very good reaction here. If you react the same thing, S2O3 2 minus, do you know this? MnO4 minus in acidic medium. I am not discussing that. Acidic medium. What is the compound? But look at this. MnO4 minus mild basic. Mild basic S2O3 2 minus converted to SO4 2 minus, which means actually what is the sulfur? One is having -2, another one is having +6. In acidic medium, -2 is able to convert it to 0. +6 remains as +6. But you have to understand one thing. MnO4 minus in basic medium, both the sulfurs, one sulfur already actually present in the +6. The other sulfur which is -2 is there now, that one also will be converted. Therefore, in which medium MnO4 minus can act as a strong oxidizing agent? Alkaline medium. Right? So, what they are asking, mild alkaline medium, thiosulfate ion, the oxidation state of the sulfur A. Oxidation state of the sulfur A is equal to 6. But here, this will be 0 as well as 6. Both different, two different oxidation states. Next. COOX taken twice, BrNH3. So here this is nothing but MAA taken twice, BC type. MAA taken twice, BC type. Here it will be having, this is having POS, plane of symmetry is present. Therefore optically inactive. Optically inactive. Whereas this type of structure is plane of symmetry is absent. Optically active. Dextro as well as levo. Clearly they mentioned, that's why I am not drawing it again. So 3 are present. if the activation energy of a reaction 80.9 kilojoules per mole, the fraction of molecules at 700 Kelvin is having enough energy to react to form a product is e power minus x. The value of x is collision theory. Do you remember collision theory? What is the formula of, I am not discussing this, I will come to this. What is the formula for the collision theory? A into, right? K is equal to Z into P e power minus EA divided by RT. Am I right? What these are talking to you? Tell me, can anyone explain this? What they are telling? Can anyone tell about them? What you learn in collision theory, that is what I am asking you. What you have learned in collision theory? Not that one. There is a single point you can learn in collision theory. What was that? Do you remember? Just maybe some 10 days back we finished chemical kinetics. Due to the collision between the molecules, products can be formed. Remember this one, why this is very important, I'll tell you. I'll discuss that point also. All the collision do not lead to the formation of the products. What is the collision frequency? What is actual collision frequency? Do you remember anything? Nothing? 10 power 21 to 10 power 25. Collision frequency means number of collisions which are possible per unit volume per second is known as collision frequency. Having this much collision frequency, but reactions are taking place very slow. Why they are taking place really slow? Because all collisions are not lead to the formation of the products. Only few collisions are lead to the formation of the products. Those who are forming the products, they are known as fruitful collisions. Why some of them are fruitful and why some of them are not fruitful? There are two barriers we have. One is energy barrier, another one is orientation barrier. Energy barrier, having the minimum energy which is required in order to undergo collision is known as, what was that? What was that? Threshold energy. The minimum energy which is required by a molecule in order to achieve threshold energy is known as activation energy. So, the fraction of molecules which can undergo collision in order to the fraction of molecules which can undergo collision by achieving the threshold energy are e power minus EA divided by RT. What is this e power minus EA by RT? Fraction of molecules which are undergoing collision by acquiring the threshold energy. So, I will tell you, fraction of molecules which are undergoing collision by acquiring the threshold energy or having activation energy EA. These are the fraction of molecules. Then what about Z and what about P? What is Z? What is Z? What is Z? Collision frequency. These many fraction of molecules which are undergoing collision per unit volume per second with the probability factor P. These are the effective collisions, or these collision can produce the products that decides the speed of the reaction, which is nothing but rate constant. Rate constant is the combination of three. Fraction of molecules which are undergoing collision per unit volume per second. ZAB or Z12, something we will mention. Z11 is for the homolytic same type of molecules undergo collision. Z12 for the heteroatomic molecules which undergo collision. That is to be denoted with the sigma square AB into square root of 8 kT divided by pi m, something we will write. Okay, that is, I am not asking you what is the memory, what is your memory. I am asking you what is the concept you learnt here. These many fraction of molecules undergoing collision per unit volume per second. That is not needed for me. Only these two are not needed. I need another one also, that is probability factor with a proper orientation. So these many fraction of molecules which are undergoing collision per unit volume per second with a proper orientation, that produces an effective reaction and it decides the speed of reaction. That quantity we can call it as rate constant. That quantity I am calling it as a rate constant. Now come to this question. They are asking fraction of molecules. Now there is no need to give any introduction for this. Fraction of molecules F. Here you can also check few things. I am just giving you that only one idea. Try this one. Check this one. That is activation energy is equal to minus 10 you take. Okay. Sorry, not minus 10. 10 you take. Another one, activation energy is equal to 30 you take. Okay ma? Activation energy 10 you take. Activation energy 30 you take. Okay. Calculate the fraction of molecules. How many fraction of molecules which undergo collision? Where more fraction of molecules can undergo collision? First one na? Sure? Definitely? No. I'll tell you another one more task. Try to do this. Okay, just whenever you are free, try to do this. Initial temperature was some 27 degrees Celsius. Calculate the same, activation energy same, calculate at 127 degrees Celsius. Here also do the same thing, where you get more jump. This difference is more or this difference is more? I'll tell you, more the activation energy, which means the reaction taking place slow. When the reaction is taking place slow, for those kind of reaction, these are temperature sensitive reactions. Here more jump will take place. When the reaction is very slow, if you raise the temperature per degree Celsius, more rate constant can be increased. These are the points you have to learn in collision theory. Those points you need to just put it in your brain. Okay, right. It's okay, Rabbi. I guess can I calculate all these things or will you do this? Okay, no? pH of ammonium phosphate solution. I remember 7 plus 1 divided by 2 pKa minus pKb by that's it. Yeah. Usually we will give it for the ammonium acetate in every notes. Ammonium acetate, ammonium ion pKa value and ammonium ion pKb value, acetate ion pKa value, both are same actually. That's why you will get pH is equal to 7. But that is what we always mention. Whenever you consider the salt of weak acid, weak base, its pH can if Ka is greater than Kb, that is acidic. If Kb is maybe batteries are gone. Yeah, now I guess you are able to listen. Yeah. So this is the only situation. Remaining all situations you know. And another one more thing. Try to calculate pH of these kind of salts also. What is this kind of salt? Amphiprotic salts. Amphiprotic salts. KHS. Okay. Na2HPO4. What is the pH of this? pK1 plus pK2 by 2. pK1 plus pK2 by 2. pK2 plus pK3 by 2. NaH2PO4. pK1 plus pK2 divided by 2. Okay. Then what about this? Strong base, polyprotic anion. What is the base? 7 plus 1 divided by 2. pKa2 plus log C. pKa2 plus log C. Okay. So these are different types of salts. That is why I have given this. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Otherwise, we will end this session. So tomorrow, what is that point we yesterday? That's okay. So first tomorrow we'll see metallurgy. Day after tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow we'll see first metallurgy. Then after we'll go to the next one will be environmental chemistry we'll see. Then after we'll see the stoichiometry. Yeah. That Saturday. Actually, yesterday we discussed with few. So tomorrow metallurgy we will discuss. Topic mostly topic. So and on Friday, might be Friday, right? On Friday we will discuss this environmental chemistry. Little bit. Okay? And then after we will discuss stoichiometry, which is not covered to you. Whether it is titration or it is something like those Carius methods or it is something like chromatography, which means practical organic chemistry and practical inorganic, whatever.